Yes, so Hairless here. Today we have a special one, a different one to anything I've done before, so thank you to Juliana for the idea and suggestions of this. VoicePlay do minis, and a mini is basically a shorter arrangement or a segment of a song. I believe they're between 1 and 2 minutes. You have mini videos on YouTube, and then you have shorts as well, and I think shorts can only be up to 1 minute. Well, today we have 5 of these minis that we will be reacting to. They weren't chosen by me. They are, actually, I think I will not tell you what they are right now, and you'll just have to keep watching if you want to find out. I'll do a mini introduction for each mini that we do, but this is kind of the main introduction, so I'll just quickly outline my plan for this video because it's something I've never done before. I think it could be fun to try and give myself roughly, I don't know, 5 or 6 minutes of video time per mini. So hopefully this video in total will be around half an hour or so, maybe a bit more, maybe a bit less. That way things will be quite spread out amongst the 5 minis. I won't spend too much time on one video and then end up rushing another one. It will be hard to judge the timings because my recordings are always way longer than the video you see because I edit down all of the gaps and other things, but I will do my best. I'll play each mini all the way through probably for the first time. Maybe I'll just do a quick pause here or there spontaneously, but then I think it will work best if after we hear the mini I then go back through them each time. As we know, VoicePlay are fine with copyright. Thank you, VoicePlay. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Okay, the first mini, we see Jeff with some red in his hair outside GameStop. This is Peaches from the Super Mario Bros. Movie. Do you call it Bros these days? Super Mario Brothers, it always was for me growing up. Written Bros though. I've not seen the movie. I did used to play Mario on Game Boy when I was a very young boy, and then I played like Mario Kart on various consoles. What a game. But all in all, I'm not that familiar with the Mario world, especially not by today's standards. I don't know if the story has changed or anything. This one that we'll be listening to is not 5-part. It will just be 4 parts. It says in the title here, Bowser, Mario, Luigi, and Toad. Jeff, I can see as Bowser. Before I start, I'll just show you a very short clip from the original. A few seconds here or there because of copyright, but you'll get the idea. Peaches, 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 I love you. And then it ends like this. Peach! Yeah, Jack Black going crazy. Very interesting just watching that as a standalone.
Peach, you're so cool.
So cool.
And with my star, we're gonna rule.
We're gonna rule.
Oh, Peach, understand. I'm gonna love you till the very end.
Till the very
Peaches,
end.
peaches, 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 peaches.
Peaches, peaches, peaches. Oh, peaches. Peaches, peaches, peaches. I love you, peaches.
This one's for you.
Mario, Luigi, and the donkey.
Sorry, I was kind of looking at the guy moving in the background like that, a distraction. I'll give my thoughts on that in a second. I was fully aware of Jeff going insanely high in his chest voice and then back down, but my brain was just kind of delayed. There's just so much going on in this very funny little format.
1,000 troops of Koopas couldn't keep me from you. Princess Peach, at the end of the line, I'll make you mine. Meow. Peaches, 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 I love you.
Peaches,
Excuse me. Do you know where there's a Bath and Body Works?
So I was told when this was initially requested that Peach over here is one of Lane's daughters. While we're on the characters, Bowser the dragon with the red hair. Lane in the green over here, I assume will be Luigi, Caesar, Mario, and Ellie with the little mushroom hat, little old Toad. If you don't know the characters, I mean, everyone knows Mario and Luigi. Bowser, we saw kind of Jack Black as a Bowser, and Toad is a mushroom, so hence the mushroom hat. Well, that was a really fun arrangement. It's a short song, so I think they did do the whole original song. I showed you the crazy ending just before we started this, and VoicePlay did do a crazy ending. Jeff's range, that has to be the highest I've ever heard him sing. It has to be, right? I think I've done over 40 VoicePlay videos. For context, that's up there. That's basically the top note a typical chorister would be expected to sing. Just above it, that's the top of a soprano's expected range. Absolutely insane. Earlier as well, the bit where I was distracted.
Peaches, peaches, I love you.
Jeff does the same thing, but down the octave, going up to there, which is still incredibly high for essentially the chest voice. He's singing it in a very rock style. Just a bit above that is what I call a wow operatic tenor moment. If you've seen my videos before, you'll be well aware of that clip. Usually, I'm using that clip against other tenors, not these mad basso profundos who are known for the deepest and murkiest of voices and depths of the vocal cords. What am I talking about? A moment after that.
Peaches, peaches, peaches. Oh, peaches. Peaches, peaches, peaches. I love it.
Right down there, it's crazy. There's a lot of contrast within this arrangement, which makes it so fun. It's kind of sporadic. The original song is anyway, but it's kind of Jack Black sitting at a piano. Here, we've got Jeff, who's just done his crazy rock tenor, let's call it, like Ellie would normally do. Then he goes down, and now Ellie is doing what he would normally do.
I love it, peaches.
I love you. This one's for you.
Mario Luigi.
And in those few seconds I've showed you there, it's one thing that I was kind of focusing on throughout the whole thing. It's the fact that it's 4-part instead of 5. Naturally, every part is therefore a little bit more exposed. The sound won't seem as full. Lane integrated using his singing voice, not the usual percussion. But now he's just moved into the beatbox, very smooth transition. But everything's so subtle. Like, it's just so characterful. Look at what Caesar's doing at this moment.
Mario Luigi and the Donkey Kong 2.
Ellie coming in with that Mario theme in the middle. And then you want to kind of carry it on there.
Some Koopas couldn't keep me from you. Keep me from Princess Peach.
And it's just a really smooth blend of styles. There you had a typical homophonic choral type arrangement, essentially. And now we've moved into the modernization of music with a beatbox, everything a bit more flowy. This is the first mini of the video. And I want to go back to the bit I was distracted by.
Peaches, 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 peaches.
It's quite a catchy song, Peaches, but it's a catchy song, isn't it? Did Jack Black write it? Maybe, I assume so. Anyway, this guy sliding by in the background on whatever machine this is he edited in? If not, then it's really clever how they work with the sound here, because we have the kind of ambient noise of the mall right from the beginning as well.
You're so cool.
You can hear some speaking and just general mall noise. But they are, of course, miming. They're not singing this live. They might be, but that's not the audio we hear. We can just see that through the clicking, where we start with the clicking and then suddenly there is no clicking, but we can still hear it.
Peaches, 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 peaches. I love.
But we do get the noise of that coming through as well. So even if that person is actually there, I imagine VoicePlay have kind of come in afterwards and edited in the noise, unless they're just blaring this song out in the mall and have combined the audio with the studio audio. I don't know. So if you know, please let me know in the comments. I'm always curious about these kind of things. I said in the introduction it's 4-part because I thought it would be. We are hearing more than 4 parts. Here's a really good example. And it's really nice seeing it like this, visualized in this way. We've got Jeff on the bass at the front, Lane on the beatbox, Ellie going peaches, peaches, peaches. And then we have 2 voices in harmony in the background. Of course, there's only Caesar left.
Meow. Peaches, 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 peaches. I love you.
And I completely understand why they do this. They're definitely no strangers to having more parts than we see. If you have just 4 parts all the way through, I'm sure they could do a really good arrangement, but obviously it will ultimately sound a little bit more empty than if you just have another part here or there. More voices, more fun. This is a very fun little arrangement. And final thing, I can tell it will be a challenge for me to try and stick to the time limits here. Jeff, when he was doing his rock tenor part of the melody, which is, you know, it's just great. I really like his voice up there. First time I think I heard it was in the Oogie Boogie song. Absolutely loved it. So it's not just that alone, but it's what happens afterwards.
This one's for you.
Mario Luigi and the Donkey Kong 2.
The introduction of the bass, boom, and then the percussion as well, working so well together. And then we have some syncopation, a-do-do-dum. You know, I've spoken about all those things before separately, but when you bring them all together, following on from Jeff's really high bit, it's just such a good way to introduce a stylistic change within the music. VoicePlay, as we know, are so good at creating contrast, having all these different sections within one arrangement that somehow just work. Anyone else, you think they might just kind of chuck them together and it won't sound natural, but yeah, VoicePlay clearly have a good knack for that. Okay, there we go. Do I now need to watch Super Mario Bros or Brothers movie? I'm not sure. Let me know if you think I should watch it or if you watch it and if you enjoyed it. Now though, let's move on to mini number 2. Number 2, Time Warp from the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Another movie that I have not seen. I think I know the song, Let's Do the Time Warp, you know, that one. Because I sung it when I was very young, maybe 4 or 5 or 6 or 7, I can't really remember, in school as part of a show maybe or something. No idea why, but that's the memory I have. So if there are cultural references, you know, spoofing or just referencing the film in general, they might be lost on me, unfortunately. I know that is one that I do need to watch. I've received loads of comments telling me to watch the film on loads of videos just randomly, it seems. I know it's definitely a cult classic, so I will watch that one. This one is 5-part from the off, featuring Ashley Diane. We have seen her before, such as in We Don't Talk About Bruno, which was my highest rated VoicePlay video to date. So let's see what they do with Time Warp here in the Oviedo Mall, it looks like.
It's astounding. Time is fleeting. Madness takes its toll.
But I remember doing the time warp, drinking those moments when the blackness would hit me and the void would be calling. Let's do the time warp again. Let's do the time warp again.
It's just a jump to the left.
Roll to the left and then a step to the right.
Put your hands on your hips.
Roll your hips. You bring your knees inside. You bring your knees inside.
That really drives you insane.
Let's do the time warp again. Let's do the time warp again. Well, I was walking down the street.
It's a catchy song. It's a catchy song. I've not listened to this song in a very long time. I listened to it in preparation for this just several times. And I was thinking, I don't know why it's so catchy. Sometimes we don't need to explain why. That's a bit weird for me to say because that's literally what my whole YouTube channel is about. Talking about why music makes us feel the way it does. But sometimes you just want to give up and just say, who cares about why? It's just a catchy song, you know? It's not overly complicated. The chorus, I think, is very catchy. Let's do the time warp again. I guess that's one of the reasons why it's so famous.
Well, I was walking down the street just to having a thing when the snake of a guy gave me an evil wink. He shook me up, he took me by surprise. He had a pickup truck and the devil's eyes. He stared at me and I felt the change.
Time and nothing ever would again.
Let's do the time warp again. Let's do the time warp again.
It's just a jump to the left.
Na 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 na, and then a step to the
Put your
right.
hands on your hips.
Na 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 na, you bring your knees in tight. But it's the pelvic thrust that really drives you insane. Let's do the time warp again. Let's do the time warp again.
Wow. Sorry.
Warp again.
So we've got a top A on the top, which is one note lower than Jeff had in the previous one. And underneath it, you know, a very full A chord, the key of this song, really high up from everyone there. You can hear Ellie up there. Yeah. Wow, that's a powerful one. I like that one a lot. Again, I'm not going to do a 20-minute analysis on this song alone, but I'll try and focus on the reasons why I like it a lot. Firstly, it's the natural progression in this song. I feel like, and I'm going to have to listen again to confirm, but I feel like essentially what happens is as we move through the choruses, they move higher in pitch. We can all notice that, right? Just based on how high they ended.
Time warp again.
Okay, then the next time.
Let's do the time warp again.
No, it's not moved up. It's actually the same pitch, but that's where now we get a little run from Ashley in there. If you're not progressing in terms of moving upwards in terms of pitch, and I often say songs often do that, they move up in pitch because it gives this idea of growth and, you know, just moving up to the heavens, however you want to think of it. If you're not going to be doing that, add something else in there to make it different, interesting. Not only do we get a nice little run from Ashley, but that also has its rhythmic implications. Other parts drop out, it makes us go whoop, and then when they come back in, it's like we carry on with the I'm thinking of like a chugga chugga train, but it's just so rhythmic, so we can thank Lane for that.
Let's do the time warp. Yeah.
Another great example of some rhythmic differences. Stopping, then Lane has his little moment. How about the next time we hear it?
Let's do the time warp again.
Yep, we've moved up this time, and also we have a very nice dissonance in there, a nice little funky chord. So here's our A chord, but Ashley's note, which is the supertonic, note number 2 of the scale. There's one, so number 2. An upwards resolution. Usually you might have like a suspension, but this is almost like a reverse suspension. So when Ashley has her next solo moment, and then she goes quite high.
In the devil's eyes, you stare at me and I felt the change.
Time and nothing ever would again.
Let's do the time warp again.
I was wondering what she'd do there, because in the original, again, I don't know how much I can show because of copyright, but I'll show what I can.
Walking down the street just to having a thing. When you're thinking we got.
I mean, we can hear just how crazy things are in the background. We've got your classic piano, just repeating these arpeggios over and over and over. But yeah, that bit is quite different.
Time and nothing ever would again.
Let's do the time.
Jeff makes me laugh there. Just him with the glasses in the background. Seemingly so serious compared to everyone else. I mean, with these three, look at Caesar, for example, just having the time of his life. Yeah, really fun arrangement. One of the other reasons I think it's so catchy is because of Jeff's walking bass, just all the way through, so consistent.
And the void would be calling. Let's do the time warp again.
And then he moves out of the walking bass to join homophonically with everyone else for the chorus, which is one other reason why the chorus is so catchy. Everyone is just going full in. It's very rhythmic, chordal. Jeff at the bottom acting as the harmonic foundation, sort of hinting at where the chords are going to move.
Time is fleeting.
So this is how we open with Jeff.
Madness.
But obviously his voice is much deeper. And then we have Ellie, absolutely perfect for it.
Doing the time warp. Drinking those moments where the blackness would hit.
In terms of the arrangement as well, this is real typical voice play style. You have the melody, then you have 2 or 3 other parts coming in with like a kind of call and response, repeating the same words in harmony, and then everyone joins in together, and then we break away into our other sections. A lot of fun things with the video as well, with the little breakaway videos down here and the dancing, and Caesar obviously with a monocle.
And then a step to the right.
And then a fun little hemiola there, thinking now in terms of 3s rather than 1 2 1 2. 1 2 3.
Let's do the time warp again.
Ooh, okay. Well, I need to watch Rocky Horror Picture Show now for mini number 3. If you enjoy these videos, please consider supporting me. You can buy me a coffee or hot chocolate, join our Patreon for loads of additional content that's not available on YouTube, or become a YouTube member for these groovy emojis and membership badges. All options are linked below, and a special thanks to everyone on the screen. Back to the video. Okay, number 3 is Wellerman, a sea shanty that I'm sure needs no introduction. It gained huge popularity through loads of viral videos, I believe several years ago. In my mind, this was kind of around the lockdown time, 2020, 2021. But VoicePlay's video is from 2023, so I don't know if they were kind of joining in with the wave of Wellerman when it was popular, or if my timelines are just completely off and this has just been popular the whole time. Anyway, this is 5-part. The special guest is Anthony Gargiulo. We have seen him before as well, such as in Seven Nation Army. That was a really cool one. So I think let's just get straight into it.
There once was a ship that put to sea. The name of the ship was Ability. The winds blew harder, bowed it down. Oh, blow, my bully boys, blow. Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go.
She had not been 2 weeks from shore when down on her a right whale bore. The captain called all hands and swore he'd take that whale in tow.
Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go.
Before the boat had hit the water, the whale's tail came up and caught her. Hands to the side, harpooned and fought her when she dived down low.
Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go.
No line was cut.
Yeah, it's a very catchy one, Wellerman, isn't it? And so much of that is down to the use of human or body percussion instead of lane. And having one more voice in there through lane really contributes to the whole camaraderie effect, which was the point of shanties initially. I just wanted to quickly pause to point out the outfits. VoicePlay, as we know, their outfits are insane in all their videos and everything. With these minis, they are a bit more low effort, as we can see. I find it funny though, like everyone else could kind of pass as a pirate. Caesar definitely, Ellie definitely, Lane halfway, Jeff, it's Jeff, we'll let him off. But then Anthony just in the hoodie. This is not a criticism at all. I just found it funny as well because he's holding the candle at the beginning. So it's like this fusion of the contemporary world, you know, 2023 at the time, but they're honoring the fact that it's a shanty with the little prop. I'm also curious about in the mall, when they film these, is it just a phone set up and they're just standing there? It must look quite funny. Imagine being someone standing like 10 meters to their left and just walking by and just seeing a group of men in front of a phone miming along.
No line was cut, no whale was freed, and the captain's mind was not of greed. He belonged to the Wellerman's creed, she took that ship in.
Whoa, soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go.
For 40 days or even more, the line went slack, the tide once more. All boats were lost, there were only 4, but still that whale did go.
Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. As far as I've heard, the fight's still on.
The line's not cut,
And the whale's not gone.
the Wellerman makes his regular call to encourage that captain, crew, and all.
Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. Take our leave and go.
I was sure they were going to end on ahoy or something, but they didn't. So then I just had to try and smooth out the lurking hand in the air.
Take our leave and go.
Spooky ending over there, and Lane with his eye constantly popping out. Yeah, it's funny, just the people in the background. I wonder if any of them know VoicePlay and see them filming and they're like, oh, that's cool. Okay, well, that was a fun one. Wellerman, it's just a song, a shanty that is very catchy. It's very popular for a reason. And I feel it's something, because of how viral it went, it gives a lot of exposure to a cappella, to the world of a cappella. I imagine there would have been a lot of people who'd hear this, who have never sung a cappella in their life and think, you know what, let's give it a go. So I like VoicePlay's arrangement because they start off just like that.
To see the name of the ship was Ability. The
Pure a cappella, just Anthony and some body percussion. And then things gradually progress.
tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go.
Homophonic still, so rhythmically it's not too complicated. We've still got the very consistent body percussion. Then things start to progress a little bit more.
He had not been 2 weeks from shore.
You might say, oh, that's actually simpler because it's just one chord repeated. It's not homophonic singing of the words. And this is true, but they do harmonic manipulation this early on because the next time they sing the chord, the second time, the harmony should change, but they don't.
She had not been 2 weeks from shore when down on her a right whale bore.
There, it's so small and subtle, but that is changing around the harmony.
Called all hands and swore he'd take that whale in tow.
Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum.
Then comes Ellie's verse, and this is where things start to get a bit more voice play, a bit more modern.
Before the boat had hit the water, the whale's tail came up and caught her. Hands to the side, harpooned and fought her when she dived down low.
But the arrangement is almost as, I don't want to say basic as it can be, but in terms of the harmony. So we have Caesar, Anthony, Ellie, and Jeff singing. Lane has now moved to beatbox. We have our melody and our bass, and then we have the two other voices, but they're singing just in octaves. So there's an opportunity for added harmony in there that they have chosen not to use. Why? I think it's because of what happens later, which is a part that I will obviously be talking about. That is, of course, the next verse, Jeff's verse.
No line was cut, no whale was freed, and the captain's mind was not of greed.
The chords are juicy here. They're very juicy.
He belonged to the Wellerman's creed, she took that ship and
Sorry, I'm just going to listen to them again just because they're really nice.
no line was cut, no whale was freed, and the captain's mind was not of greed. He belonged to the Wellerman's creed, she took that ship and
So the standout chord for me, which just opens up the arrangement in terms of the harmonic soundscape, if you will. So when it starts, there's this descending line, which gives the idea of opening up, and then you also have contrary motion, so some parts above moving in the opposite direction.
One was cut, no whale was freed, and the captain's mind was not.
The harmony really filling up, and the harmony is not too closely related to Jeff, which in Wellerman for a sea shanty is basically a staple of how things should be. Usually it's homophonic singing, that you have the melody, you sing in harmony with the melody, everyone in harmony with each other by the book type of harmony. This verse, voice player like, nah, screw that.
Was not of greed, he belonged to the Wellerman's.
That chord here that we're listening to now, so the harmony would normally be bum ba ba dum bum ba da dum, etc. But here they've moved to this chord, completely different. But also we have note number 2, the supertonic in there, which just gives it that really magical, almost separate, aloof quality that I think is just so nice. It's so unexpected, especially because Jeff, deep down in that basso profundo voice, is still going away with the melody. He's not adjusting it to match their harmony.
Mind was not of greed, he belonged to the Wellerman's creed, she took that ship and
Whoa, soon may the Wellerman come.
And then straight back into that homophonic chorus that we all know and love. Because of this, I think, but who knows why they actually did it, afterwards we get Lane's verse.
It's like the tide once more, our boats were lost.
Lovely eye effect. And this is quite a comic verse. Caesar slaps him on the back of the head. The harmony here really does not change. It's kind of like we heard, was it in verse 2 or 3? Can't remember, where I pointed out the harmony does not change at all. And they're doing the same thing here, but we have all these other effects like the wind whistling.
There were only 4, but still that whale did go. Soon may the Wellerman come.
And now the homophony is starting to progress a bit as well. The upper part is slightly different to how we've heard before.
Crew and all.
Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum.
Culminating in that lovely, lovely moment, falling line from Ellie. And then how do we end? With some rhythmic augmentation. Take the melody, increase the length of every note twice.
But one day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. Take our leave and go.
That ending there
Leave and go.
really is triggering nostalgia for their Hoist the Colours. That was one that I listened to on repeat so many times. Woo! Okay, so I need to watch Rocky Horror Picture Show and become a pirate after that. Now on to number 4, Beautiful Things by Benson Boone. Benson Boone is an artist that I think has kind of been pretty hard to avoid in general. I know they became super famous. I don't really follow that kind of thing, but it seems like they became famous very, very quickly. I don't know his music, but I believe, know the chorus of this song. I think it's a song that we would have heard somewhere. Quite hard to avoid, but quite catchy. Definitely a memorable song. So yeah, kind of looking forward to this. The special guest in this one is DJ Young. We have seen him multiple times before. He was in our last VoicePlay video, which was a double feature, Butter and In My Room. He was in both of them. What a voice he has, especially in the upper registers. So I'm wondering in this one if he'll be singing the melody of the chorus or if it will be Ellie. Ellie is at the front, but they might change around their order as this progresses. But the style of this song, it just seems like an Ellie one. DJ does have the higher voice, but it's a different type of voice. So I guess we'll see.
I hold you every night. That's a feeling I want to get used to. But there's no man as terrified as the man who stands to lose you. Oh, I hope I don't lose you. Please stay. I want you, I need you, oh God. Don't take these beautiful things that I've got. Please stay. I want you, I need you, oh God. Don't take these beautiful things that I've got. Whoa. Ooh.
So yeah, this is a short, like an actual YouTube short, so it's under a minute long. So will our final one of the video. Yeah, I mean, let's go with DJ first of all. He was what I was wondering about. So let's just go to the chorus.
I want you, I need you, oh God. Don't take.
You can just hear how he's being utilized for that smooth, high voice of his. I mean, Ellie is at the top here with the melody, but DJ's fitting so smoothly just underneath, and then Caesar underneath him, and those three together, it's just such a good blend.
I want you, I need you, oh God. Don't take these beautiful things that I've got. Whoa.
Just there though, that's DJ now overtaking Ellie in terms of how high they're singing. Yeah, really high. That's again towards the top of a chorister's range, but DJ, he's so smooth with it. He's so smooth with it. Lovely way to end as well on this unresolved chord. The start of the arrangement here, very ballady.
Every night, that's a feeling I want to get used to.
Starting with just Jeff down there and, you know, providing the depths of the bass, and Ellie with the melody. And I love, again, this is that voice play style where then the other voices come in, homophonic treatment. What was Lane doing at this moment?
But there's no...
On that note in the chord there, or Caesar, that's a really nice chord as well, very juicy. So it's like an E flat chord, but they have the sixth note in there. Might be shifted around or rearranged in some way, but that's the premise of that chord. So yeah, I didn't really know what to expect actually. Like I said, I know the chorus. I don't know if I've ever heard the verses before, but either way, it's a really nice arrangement.
But there's no man as terrified as the man who stands to lose.
Simplicity, just simple chordal accompaniment. Things don't always have to be crazy. We've certainly seen some crazy things with VoicePlay in the past. They have, 1 minute here to make as much of an impact with this song as possible. And I think it's a nice touch to basically do the first half, very reserved, ballad style, chordal. And then when the chorus comes in,
Need you, oh God, don't take.
the classic back and forth. I was finding this funny as well, these two people just walking by in the background. Again, my question remains, I'd love to know what it looks like seeing VoicePlay filming this.
These beautiful things that I've got, please stay. I want you, I need you, oh God, don't take.
And I love how they just hint at dissonance, especially on the please, stay, for example. I'll play that again and really listen out for the dissonant notes in there. Sorry, not on stay, on the ha that we get just here.
Stay.
At the same time, with Ellie on the top and then Jeff singing that but down. Very effective use of dissonance when they do use it in this arrangement, even though it's sparingly. And yeah, it's a song with a famous chorus, and I think they did it really, really well, bringing in DJ for his higher parts. Yeah, nice. And for the fifth and final mini of this video, DJ again is here, and this is Die With A Smile. Absolutely lovely song. Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars, summer of 2024. I remember driving through Belgium and France. Well, I was in the passenger seat, being the passenger princess, supplying the food, supplying the tunes, and you best believe that I did play this on repeat probably for like 2 hours. I don't know how the driver didn't kick me out of the car. Anyway, this song is nostalgic for me. It has a special place in my heart. I have done a video on it as well just after it came out, so if you're interested, please check that one out as well. Special guest, DJ Young. If there's anyone that they've had as a guest who could be compared to Bruno Mars just in terms of that range and the whole timbre of his voice, how it sounds, it would be DJ. So yeah, I'm going to assume that he has the melody here. Let's get straight into it.
But since I survived, I realized wherever you go, that's where I'll follow. Nobody's promised tomorrow, so I'ma love you every night like it's the last night, like it's the last night. If the world was ending, I'd wanna be next to you. If the party was over and our time on earth was through, I'd wanna hold you just for a while, and die with a smile. If the world was ending, I'd wanna be next to you.
Oh, naughty Caesar going in there at the end. Oh, you can tell that they absolutely loved filming that one. Really nice arrangement. This is one that, it's a shame it's so short. You know, I'd love that to be a full 3-minute or however long the song is arrangement. Yeah, really, really nice. DJ as the front man, it's just self-explanatory. I feel like it's a bit moot if I say anything about his voice.
It was over and our time on earth was through.
I love that bit as well. Build up of texture to the other guys.
And die with a smile. If the
He can just so seamlessly transition from this blended voice into his chest voice, which goes so high. Yeah, it's so cool. It's always really, really cool hearing him. So back to the beginning. Jeff straight in, and you're like, okay, Jeff is going to be a real, the rock underneath everything. Really important for the harmony. Immediately, they switch around the harmony again. They divert away from the harmony in the song.
wherever you go,
Here, and it's Jeff who's gone to the tonic.
go, that's where I'll follow.
No. Whoever's singing that in there, I think that was Ellie, was it?
Follow.
Yeah, I think Ellie. It's just juicy chords. In my reaction to the original song, I probably spent the whole video just talking about how every single chord in this song is a funked up version of the chord. So if you have an A chord and then a D chord in the song, they're all these major 7th chords. So here's an A chord, and then you add in the 7th note, but raise it, that's a major 7th. Or with D, same thing, add in the 7th, raise it. And that's what this song is built on, and that's what makes it feel so smooth naturally and so groovy. VoicePlay really lean into this, of course. They love their funky harmonies.
Nobody's promised tomorrow.
And the harmony is juicy enough that they don't really need to rearrange it that much. They had that little harmonic move away from the original at the start, but otherwise they do stick true to the song's harmony. So in a way for them, probably this was really nice to arrange, because then they think, how do we subtly make other changes? Here's an example, how it's just Jeff singing along, everyone else drops out, and then when do they all come in?
Nobody's promised tomorrow.
Little chromatic line from Jeff there as well. And the bits I showed you earlier where DJ stops.
If the party was over and our time on earth was through.
It's so nice. They all build up and then stop again, and then Jeff has his little rundown. This arrangement to me, even though the harmony is so important, and you know, as someone who loves harmony, I think that's why the original song was so well received by everyone. It's just the little nuances, especially rhythmically in this arrangement, that I think VoicePlay would have had an absolute field day with, really. What can we do? Something that's not too obvious, but just obvious enough to make you go, oh.
I'd wanna hold you just for a while.
Like, why did they choose to do homophony on Hold You, but not on Just for a While? You know, these are the questions in every phrase they have to come to the decision.
Die with a smile if the world was ending.
And obviously having Lane there as a fifth voice just cements this idea that the harmony is the important thing, right? More voices, more notes in there, more opportunity to juice up the chords. Oh, okay. I think we'll call that one there. My brain is feeling tired. Tough work having to shift between these minis and try and say enough useful information, but also don't go overboard. I could do a full video on, on any of them really. Every arrangement was really nice. I think for me personally, the ones that maybe impacted me more were the ones that I were more familiar with, like Wellerman or Die With A Smile, and maybe because I loved the songs. I think it's just natural if you don't know a song, especially when there's a cover or a rearrangement of it, then yeah, it just doesn't have the same nostalgia. But that said, yeah, really fun, all of them. Nice selection, a bit of variety in there, an eclectic mix, shall we say. So yeah, that was cool. Yeah, really enjoyed that. Let me know down below your thoughts on these minis and which other minis are your favorites. If you made it this far, thank you very, very much for watching. If you don't want to comment your favorite minis, but would like to comment to help the algorithm, then we'll go with an emoji. And I think today's emoji, let's just do a music emoji because we've listened to a lot of music there. Thank you once again, and I'll see you in the next one.